It's your friend Paul, and well, I don't know what I need a shave, and a shower because I've had a long work day, but not right now. I'm just going to have a cold, refreshing beer. I have about 3 other projects I'm supposed to be working on right now, but I had so many technical issues earlier that I kind of had to abandon them to fix the technical issues so that I could eventually, go back to working on the projects. Didn't want to cough in your ears. So I've been away for about a little over a week. From this media, as I've been working on a bunch of other projects, as I said earlier, and my day job's been keeping me incredibly busy, which, let's be honest, I'm pretty okay with, because if I'm working, it means the company's doing well. If the company's doing well, I have a job. I'm not going to get into the logistics or the specifics of that, but I like what I do, and I like my job. I like the company I work for, and they treat me very, very well. Extra money a little bit more money would be good, but as I said, they treat me very, very well, and we have a very good health benefit package, and we've been purchased by a larger corporation. I'm not going to mention their name here because nothing has changed for the company that I work for currently. I mean, we've been acquired by another company, but nothing has changed in the day-to-day operation for the time being. I'm sure that at some point in time in the near future that will, but until that time, I'll just continue to do my job to the best of my abilities, and be a good employee, I guess. Hey, look, we always want a little bit more money. I mean, they like I said, they take good care of me. They're very good to me, and the culture and the overall, what's the word I'm looking for? Culture, of course, but the overall overlying behavior, I'm struggling here, is let's work together. We're all a big part of a team. Infighting is not something that any of us want, so we do our utmost to avoid hiring individuals who would be abrasive or abusive or sexist or racist. I mean, as a company goes, we don't tolerate any of those things. So, we tend to hire people who might not necessarily have the highest level of technical skills, but certainly have the highest EQ, which goes a very long way in building a good company. But enough about that. As I said, I've got a lot of other side projects I'm working on. I have a political podcast, of course, and my music podcast, which is my first love, and I absolutely love doing this. But with that amount of projects on the go, and I get my second shot on July 9th. And I believe, the first shot was Pfizer, I think, and the second will be Moderna, which is fine because they're both mRNA, and I'm just happy to get it as soon as possible. Both my parents are double vaxxed, and I will be soon too, which is an awesome thing, so I can get back to hugging people again, shaking hands, just being friendly and social and loving and all the things that we've had to pack away for a while. I mean, even my introverted friends are like, okay, I got to get out of the house. I am not an introvert. I'm very much an extrovert, but there are times when the anxiety and depression get a hold of me and prevent me from leaving. The depression because you're too physically exhausted to get out of bed or off the couch or out of your chair, whatever the case may be. And those of you who suffer from that I'm sure can completely understand that. Now when it comes to the anxiety, that's just a fickle beast in and of itself. And I wake up every day at 5, even on the weekends, because I'm old and that's what my body's used to, right? So when the weekend rolls around and I wake up at 5 a.m. on a Saturday, I don't get out of bed at 5. It's Saturday. I don't have to be anywhere. Usually. Well, for the last year and a half, anyway. I mean, prior to that, in summertime, there's commitments, golf weekends, dragon boating, things like that, right? However, now that I still wake up at 5 and I'll lie in bed usually till 6 and get up and make some coffee and have some breakfast and usually do some recording on a couple of different projects that I'm working on, which keeps me busy, and I'm very happy to do that. But it's like once all that's done, then you've dusted, vacuumed, got your housework done. It's like, okay, now it's 10 a.m. Now what? I'll shower and shave and change. I'll get dressed. I'll put on some, actual clothing I can wear outside of the house other than just romping around in my underwear. And then after I take that shower, some days when the anxiety is super high, it's the question of now what? Now what? Do I leave the house? Okay, where do I go? Well, I could go there, but that would take some time to do that. It's like, well, I suppose I could walk there. If I was to walk there, I could walk there. I could take a scooter. There's a scooter right outside, but I haven't done that yet. I'm kind of nervous because I haven't. What if I fall? I won't fall because I'm pretty good. I'm pretty athletic. I'm in really good shape, and I work out, but I haven't done it yet. So I'm a little apprehensive. That's anxiety. And sometimes, and I'm sure there's many viewers, listeners, who can identify with this. You will have a conversation similar to that for what might seem in your head like, well, that was only 30 minutes, maybe maximum 30 minutes, right? And it's 10 a.m. when you have that conversation, and then the next thing you know, it's like 4 p.m., and you recognize that you're hungry because you've had no lunch, and you've been going through that thought process on an endless loop for 6 hours. Then, if you're anything like me and have OCD, along with your depression and anxiety, you get upset at the fact that you've just lost a day. And you're not, because the anxiety is a liar, like depression. It lies to you. It makes you ignore the fact that you were up at 5, got out of bed at 6, had coffee, had breakfast, did the vacuuming, did the dusting, maybe a load or two of laundry, did some recording, possibly got some little side projects that, around your household, clean the windows or fix that ledge or paint that or whatever the case may be, and you got all of that done in a 4-hour period. But your anxiety doesn't allow you to recognize that. It just tells you, a million different things about how you should be thinking and panicking when none of that is necessary. And as I said, 6 hours later, you're sitting there realizing, oh, well, the day's gone by, and now you feel guilt because you've missed the Saturday. And then the depression kicks in, and The anxiety has got the mind racing, but the body is so physically tired you can't get up off the couch, but you know you need to eat something. And then you realize you didn't do groceries the day before, and all you have is maybe 2 eggs and some bread. So an egg sandwich, a fried egg sandwich it will be. But it's the task in front of you is just monumental. It's like, oh, now I have to cook the eggs in a frying pan. And then I'll have to clean up. And the cleanup is going to be such a nightmare because there's going to be oil and grease. And what am I going to do? There's dishes in the sink. Oh, I'll just lie here on the couch for a little while longer. And then suddenly it's 8 p.m. And now you're feeling even worse. Because the whole day has escaped from you. The anxiety is lying to you, but you actually did accomplish something today. And quite frankly, if you got out of bed, bathed, and eaten at least one meal, that's a huge accomplishment when you're suffering from anxiety and depression. Then around 8:30, you get a text message from a friend saying, hey, let's go out for drinks. I haven't seen you in so long and the patios are open again. Come on, dude, let's go out for drinks. Drinks would be great. And in your head, you're thinking, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. This should be done because I haven't seen this person in months. I've been locked in my house for way too long and I need to get out, and it's a Saturday and I've done nothing. I've been a vegetable on my couch all day. I haven't even turned on the Netflix. I've just been zombie boy. So you take another shower because you've been sitting there sweating for hours because your brain forgot to tell you to turn on the air conditioner. So you hop in the shower and you get dressed and you go downstairs and you walk over to the pub and you meet your friends and you have maybe a beer or 2, possibly 3, or maybe a whiskey, or maybe nothing. Maybe you just have a club soda or a glass of water, or maybe you're a coffee addict. I don't know. Whatever floats your boat, right? But you'll sit there and you'll be there for like 2 hours, sometimes 3, and all of a sudden it gets late, and then the next thing you know it's 2 a.m. and you've had too much to drink, and you've got to go home to get to bed because Sunday you have to do laundry and then go see family, or you have a commitment somewhere and you don't know how you're going to do it because you're just completely exhausted, and now you're going to be drunk and hungover. It can be a vicious cycle. Yeah, as I say this while I'm drinking a beer. That is a tasty beer. It's a nice German dab. I had an Innocent Gun earlier, which was lovely. A nice Scottish beer. I very much like the Innocent Gun. This is my 3rd beer of the evening. Relax. Over the course of 5 hours. That's nothing. I am a bit of an Irishman, you see. And I'm Canadian, so we like to drink beer. At least some of us do, not everybody. Oh, and the whisper was for a few people who asked for it, so I thought it would be polite to oblige. I can still talk about things and maybe accomplish or achieve something. I just don't know. So yeah. It's kind of been the last couple of weekends. It's not verbatim. I mean, some weekends have been a great deal better. I don't know where I'd be without the medication. And I did speak to my doctor about, should I increase my meds? And he's like, no, let's let it ride for a little bit. Last time I spoke to him, I said, I'm feeling much, much better. I'm feeling like myself again. He said, okay. He says, if you go through a really bad period, please don't hesitate to call me immediately. If you need help, we can get you in. We have hospitals here that'll take care of you. We do. We have a very good hospital here in Ottawa that's dedicated solely to mental health. And I've had friends who have spent time there and said it's made all the difference in the world. And the individuals who work there are incredibly kind and caring. I've not had to stay there, but my occupation takes me everywhere in Canada's capital. There's maybe about a dozen institutions that I haven't worked in. I've worked pretty much everywhere over the years, including Rideau Cottage, where the Prime Minister currently resides, 24 Sussex Drive, Rideau Hall. I've worked in all of those places. I'm security cleared for it, so it's cool. Anyway, the human brain is such a fickle, funny thing. It's capable of so much wonderful, and at the same time, it can be your worst enemy. I'm doing quite well. I got to be honest with you. I'm doing quite well. I'm not physically tired, but that's been, a case of a lot of work, and the pandemic. It does weigh heavy on one's soul. I realize I look like hell tonight because a little dehydrated from work today. The last couple of days, it's been quite warm here. Not as bad as it is in British Columbia, where they just set a record that surpasses anything I think that's ever been seen in Texas and the Nevada desert. I'm not even joking. It was hotter in British Columbia than it was in the Mojave today. Texas' highest temperature ever recorded was surpassed today. So that should tell you something. Anyway, here in the Ottawa Valley, in the nation's capital of Canada, it's been hovering around 30-32 with a humidex of 35 to 40, which is quite hot when you consider that body temperature is 37, for my American friends who may not know. 37 Celsius would be 98.6. So, hot. It regularly hits well over 100 degrees Fahrenheit here throughout the summer with humidity. The air temperature isn't always, I think usually 30, 37. It might hit that once every decade. But the humidex with the humidity, because the humidity is very high in the valley here, it will very often hit 40, 45, 42. Yeah. Anyway, I'm beginning to wander because I can't keep full track of my thoughts right now. Though I'm tired. It's been a long week. I have a 4-day weekend. I booked Friday off. Of course, Thursday is July 1st is Canada Day. And it's going to be... Well, last year there was nothing to celebrate because of COVID, and this year, although we're coming out of the fog, and this one is tough because Canada Day has long been my favorite day of the year. July 1st is my favorite day of the year because it's a celebration of the nation. But not only that, it's a celebration of the dream that we want this country to be. It is a dream. Hopefully someday it'll be realized. I don't think it'll be realized in my lifetime, but we can continue to work towards it. Liberty, equality for everyone. What I love about Canada Day, especially in the nation's capital, is the and every year, I'm going to get emotional about this. Every year I see, because I live right downtown. Parliament Hill is at the end of my street. And I wander to Parliament Hill, and I wander around the streets and the Byward Market and Elgin Street, which is a block away. And it's the thousands of people just out celebrating all together. It's secular. It's not religious. It's not in celebration of a monarch. It's just, let's celebrate this nation that we're trying to build. And it's every year I see more and more new Canadians, recent immigrants here, and they're just covered head to toe in Canadian flags in red and white. And I talk to as many of them as I can and say, hey, happy Canada Day. And they're like, oh, happy Canada Day. I'm like, isn't this the best day of the year? And then they usually, oh yeah, I'm getting emotional. They usually proceed to tell me about why they came here and how much it means to them. Well, this year things are different, right? This year, things are very different. It won't be a celebration. I mean, COVID plays a part in that, of course, but it's the genocide that took place in this nation and what we did to our the first inhabitants here, the Indigenous peoples of Canada, what we did to them, how we institutionalized them, and anyway, I have a separate political podcast all about that. If you want to look it up, you can. It's called The True North Eager Beaver. It's available on Spotify and Google and Apple and basically anywhere you find podcasts. But this year is going to be a difficult one because I want to celebrate our country, our nation, and all the things I love about it. But another year of COVID and a whole new reason to just I don't even know what to say anymore. Anyway, I've been talking for a while now, and perhaps I should sign off and finish this beer and go to bed soon, because I have to go to work in the morning. Earn a living, right? I hope wherever you are listening to this, that I hope I've been able to help someone. I hope I've been able to maybe, give you some pointers or tips, or maybe you can just needed somebody to identify with. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I have no training in any of that. I'm just a guy who felt it was high time that I tried to do something to make the world a better place, I mean, I try and treat everybody, I go out of my way, actually, to treat everybody with kindness and compassion and be polite. Except for Nazis. They don't get any of that. For damn good reason. I will not tolerate intolerance. Sorry, I don't want to get political on this channel. But some things just need to be said, right? Anyway. It's time for me to call it an evening. I'm tired, and I got some computer issues I have to fix, which is always fun, right? I'm sure you can hear the keyboard clicking in the background. I'm just trying to fix a couple of things here. I don't mean to be a distraction. Or maybe this is a distraction. I don't know anymore. I just hope whoever is watching this that I've been able to bring you some sort of peace or maybe understanding, or just maybe you just needed somebody to speak random words to help you relax or fall asleep, or just have someone to identify with. Yeah, it's time for me to go to bed. I'm tired. It's been a long day, a long week, and it's only Tuesday. I do have a 4-day weekend though, so I'll be getting some good rest, and maybe I'll give you a post-mortem on Canada Day in a day or two. Let you know how things were. It won't be rad. It won't be a crazy party or anything like that, but sorry. Wherever you are, please take care. If you need to talk, send me an email. I respond to everyone. it's not like there's millions watching, so it's not difficult for me to respond to everybody. And I hope I've been able to help somebody somewhere. Reach out if you need to. And I know how difficult that is, because if you were in crisis, if you were going through depression, I know that it's impossible to do that. I know how impossible it is. I've lived it. 41 years I've been dealing with depression and anxiety. And I only started talking about depression maybe 10 years ago, 8 years ago, 9 years ago. I don't even remember the date. I can look it up and tell you, because it was the day that Robin Williams committed suicide. When he took his life, it's when I decided, okay, that's it. I got to talk about the depression. But it was a few more years before I could discuss anxiety, because anxiety's tough. Okay. 10 p.m.